Hi guys, this is Rals. Welcome back to the Inside Jungle channel. Today is a special edition. It is Valentine's Day. As you can probably guess from my decor, and I have here a little decor as well. If you are celebrating Valentine's Day, happy Valentine's Day. If you are not celebrating it because it's too commercial for you, still this is a very good reminder that we should say I love you to the persons in our lives more often. Today it's also about love. Today I want to feature a plant that might be in all our hearts. Why it might be in all our hearts? Because no matter the continent, no matter the hemisphere, or at least all the persons I know, we are familiar with this plant. What plant is this? I do not know if I'm going to pronounce it very well. It's Schlumbergera or Schlumbergera, maybe, I don't know, but the popular names are holiday cactus, spider cactus, crab cactus, or two species of this cacti are also called Thanksgiving cactus, which is this one. And also, I have here some cuttings of Christmas cactus. How can you differentiate all these types of cactus, which is actually not cactus, it's cacti? The Thanksgiving cactus that I have here has sharper pointed edges of the leaves, and the Christmas cactus, which I have a cutting in the water, they have softer, rounder, a little bit rounder edges of the leaf. Now, I said it's a plant with love, given with love. It was delivered to me by one of my best friends, my very good friend Joanna, on my birthday, just maybe 20 days so ago or less. And this plant came into my life in the most unusual way. This type of plant lives right outside our door, in the common area of the block of apartments where we live. I was never tempted to pick a stem and bring it home. Why? I don't know. Maybe the plants outside they look a little bit old, a little bit dusty. Yes, I'm a plant snob sometimes, I admit it. But it has to come into my life through my friend, which I want to thank one more time. So it was a plant given with love. And if I am trying to recall my earliest memories of this plant, I've seen it in my classroom. I've seen it in my mother's kitchen for a while, and I think my grandma also had it on her balcony during the summer. For a few years, these plants disappeared from sight, but now I see them more and more often, even on institution hallways, not only on schools. Now, what I want to feature in this video is repotting and propagating this Christmas and Thanksgiving cactus. Why? Because I've got it and it looks like I've got it directly from a nursery. It's very crowded, and unfortunately, I'm not very impressed of what this plant nursery did. Not only it's very crowded, the soil um, came out of the pot, and also it looked like they just stuck there in the soil more stems. Speaking about stems, something very interesting about this plant, let me remove this little heart here. The stems of the plants are actually its leaves. So they are improperly called leaves. They are stems, and unfortunately I don't have any flowers to show you the blooms, the beautiful pink blooms that this Thanksgiving cactus had. They felt off, probably the change in temperature and humidity and light conditions. But in the 20 or 15 days, something like that, since it's with me, the blooms felt and it started to emerge instead of the blooms or in the same spot. They started to emerge two new uh, pieces or segments of stems. I was about to call them leaves, but okay, let's call them leaves because it's easier. So the thing to remember, this is a plant that grows indoors. It's very easy to grow it indoors, but it's native to Brazil. So if you imagine Brazil, imagine the jungle, imagine the humidity, imagine that it doesn't take too much sun between the branches of the trees in the jungle, so do not keep it directly in the sun. She doesn't like it. Now, also, if you imagine Brazil and the jungle, you will feel the humidity, right? Just close your eyes and feel the environment. And an interesting fact, in nature, so not in our homes, but in nature, this plant is called an epiphyte. That means it grows on top of other plants, not as a paradise, but simply as an epiphyte. Indoors, it's improperly to call this an epiphyte because it's just living in a pot. Yeah, it's not growing on top of another plant, maybe on top of its own leaves, and that's about it. It's time to go directly to the point, and oh my god, look at it. You see, I just touched the plant and it came out, and if you can see, it has a little this leaf. It's a leaf. So, okay, it's a segment, but we said that we are gonna call them leaves. It has a little bit of roots. They seem a bit dry, but the leaf is still pretty much healthy. So I'm gonna put it on the side. Let's see what other surprises we have. I wish you could see even better what I'm seeing right here. I told you I'm very, very disappointed of this nursery. I have another leaf here. This actually doesn't has like a little mustache. I cannot call it a root system, and they are simply coming out. I have here a spoon as well. Yes, I am gardening with spoons. It's very convenient, very easy. You don't need to buy fancy tools, and you do not have to buy expensive tools. Gardening can be done indoor or outdoor, well, mostly indoor, with items that you can find in your household. I'm trying to remove the soil gently, and here it is, another leaf. It's coming out with what's a very, very dry root. Here it is, and this leaf unfortunately dried or almost rotten. So I think this was touching the soil, and because of the water, she looks like it's very, very soft and almost rotten. Now I'm going to remove the rest of the soil. The rest of the plant seems very healthy. It's actually the main plant. I don't want to damage the root system of these plants. As I said to you, I have never owned this plant before, so I do not know exactly the quality of the root system. So you are learning with me right now. If you haven't had a holiday cactus before, it's a premiere for you as well. Okay, look at this. So the plant is not in a very good shape. The leaves are falling. Another leaf is falling right here. So I have already one, two, three, four, five leaves. But don't you fret too much. I'm pretty sure I can save them. And I'll make sure to update you in a few weeks' time. And when I say I'm pretty sure, it's because I have some success with propagation in water. This is very brittle. This is a very, very brittle plant. I really don't know what they did with it at the nursery. Okay, so it's out of the pot. I'm going to separate the stems. Okay, this came out beautifully. Look at it. I'm going to try to remove as gently as I can the soil around the root system because I want to check the roots and I want to offer this plant new nutrients from new soil, a new batch of soil. This soil is very rich in perlite. All these little white beads that you see are perlite beads, which help the soil drainage. So this plant likes moist soil, but never soggy. So most of the plants that I know until now, they do not like soggy feet. So do you like soggy feet? I don't think you do. So they don't do it either. But this plant survives better in moist soil rather than in dry soil. So never let the soil dry completely. I want to show you a victim, a war victim. this piece of fruit simply came out and it fell into my hands. I'm going to put it on the side. And now let's inspect this other. Oh, I have two stems here. That's very nice. One seems rotten at the very bottom, but I need to remove more soil in order to see what's really going on here. And in case you're wondering, yes, you're not in my balcony, you're in my living room. And yes, gardening, it is messy. So don't you worry, it's just dirt, a little bit of vacuum, and everything will go back. Okay. Now I have two stems. Hopefully you can see them, but the root system is connected. So when you have this kind of situations, because you're gonna encounter it in many potted plants, and when you're gonna try to separate them, what you're gonna have to do is very, very gently remove as much soil as you need in order to see where you can break the roots apart. So I'm trying not to have a situation like the one before where the root simply fell into my hand. Unfortunately, I cannot tell where to break this roots apart. So at one moment it is going to be like a gamble. So I'm just gonna do it. Like knife, just do it. So if you cannot tell if there are two plants separate with separate root systems, at one moment you're gonna have to take a decision. Okay, and almost there. Okay, now so I have three stems with three root systems and quite a few leaves that I can propagate. This root system looks healthy enough. I think the plant will survive just fine in a new pot, in a new potting mix, in a new pot. But what happened here, I hope you guys can see, it rot. This part, the lower part, the very lowest part of the stem, it rot because it was completely submerged in the soil and the soil was moist. And this had the same situation. So what I have in my hands right now are this. So what I quickly did while I was off camera is to dip into soil these three cuttings that you can see over here. This is a Christmas cactus, as I said, with softer leaf edges. I'm gonna put it on the side. Another Christmas cactus stem, and the one that I showed you from the Thanksgiving cactus, from the mom plant. Okay, so I'm gonna put them on the side. Now what I have left here and what I want to show you are these three stems or these three leaves with little mustaches. This one, and the one that I told you that it barely has a mustache, but I'm still going to try to put it together in the same pot. Let's see if it's going to develop a root system in a few weeks' time. So for your work, for your potting actually procedure to be easier, I'm suggesting you to spray a little bit the soil to dampen the soil. In this way, the plant will be able to be fixed much easier. Now, for the plants that have a longer root system than others, and you want to place them in the same pot, I've explained you in other videos with other plants as well, but I'm going to tell you here as well if you haven't watched those so far. If you have a longer root like this one, you put it the first one. Then you take some soil, you cover the root, you moist the soil again so you fix the first plant, in this case first leaf. You take the second one of a different length of a root system, you apply the same procedure, you cover the root with a new layer of soil. So right now, although very close by, you okay, the roots, the roots they really don't touch right now. You dampen the soil as well. And then the last one is gonna be the one with the least root system form. I'm just gonna put it right here. And yes, we are risking a little bit of rot, leaf rot, of segment rot, because there is no other way to fix it in the soil. But it's something that we are going to monitor, and I think we can manage. So here it is, 3 leaves, 3 segments of Thanksgiving cactus in the same pot. There is no need to put them in individual pots unless you really, really want to play with very small pots. Well, full stop. I'm going to show you next time some very, very small, cute pots. Okay, so what we have left? We have left the 3 main stems. Look at them, how beautiful they are. So right now I can make really 3 pots. So I'm decided in this moment if I'm gonna place all of them in one big pot or in 3 smaller pots. So it's very easy to propagate. Look, from this plant, from the pots I showed you at the beginning, I actually can make gifts. I can give them to my dear ones. I can give one to my grandma. She's gonna be so happy because she lost her Thanksgiving cactus years ago. I can give one to my mom, and I can keep one for me. So it's very, very beautiful to give to offer planted pots. They last longer and the meaning is stronger, in my opinion. So let me see. This cutting, although it has a beautiful root system, look at it here. The last segments are not looking too well. They're very, very soft at touch. They seem like the water didn't reach them in a long time. So I'm gonna remove the upper stems in order to help the plant to regenerate and rejuvenate. So what I'm gonna do this, now the plant has shrunk in size, although the root system is still there. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna place it in this small pot. But Rals, you're gonna say the root system is too small for that pot. Yes and no. Until this plant will not grow out of this pot, there is absolutely no reason for me to place it in a huge one. The root system is thin, so the roots are thin. You don't have to overpot it. And actually, what I'm gonna do, I'm going to cut the longer leaves, the longer roots. Sorry, trim them a little bit because they're brittle towards the end. And this is another way for you to force your plant to work on its root system and on rejuvenating itself. So right now I'm just trimming the edges of the roots, and this is the final plant. Okay? Now this pot is very small, very cute, very suitable, extremely suitable for this plant, but it has a little problem. The holes inside are quite a few, and soil will simply drain out through there. So what I did, I have here a little part, a little piece of a mosquito net. So if you have the same issue like I have right now with pots with very large holes, and you know you're going to lose the soil very, very fast, go to the first hardware store that you have in your neighborhood, buy the cheapest mosquito net, like literally the cheapest. You don't need anything fancier than that. Cut it to the size of the pot, place it on the bottom, and I promise you the soil will not run through these holes. And another aspect that I really love in using the mosquito net, the roots and the root system is gonna be pot bounded instead of coming out to the training, if you may, training your plant to stay in its pot for a longer time. And I know that when a root system is coming out even through the net, through the mosquito net, and through the holes, then it's really time for that plant to have another pot, to go to another home, if you may. Now let's put some fresh soil. I have it here on the side. It's a little bit hidden because not everything fits into my working space. Yes, it's a little bit messy. I told you in a previous video I cannot work with a very clean table. I don't know how some of you can. I've seen some amazing videos from fellow gardeners and indoor gardeners that have such a clean table. I don't know how you manage, but you can leave it in the comments below because I'm very curious actually of how you do it. Now, I put some soil, I put some water, I spray some water, and now I'm taking my small spoon and pressing the soil. You want to press the soil because you want your plant to be firmly grounded, so you want it to stay in the pot and to come out. And if the soil is not strong enough to sustain it, the plant will just fall out of your pot, and you don't want that to happen, especially not with a young plant that it's trying to rejuvenate itself. Okay, almost half of the pot is filled with soil. Now it's time to place the plant, our cacti. Be gentle with the root system. Try with a finger to find the right position of the roots. Now this stem, actually, this lower part, this used to be a stem. I'm not sure if you can see it so well, but this used to be a stem that transformed into a thicker root right here at the base. So this offers me the flexibility and the possibility to move the plant towards the center of the pot. And now I'm gonna add some more soil. It's a new soil prepared. I prepared this batch a while back, and I have it ready for this kind of emergency repotting situations. I also have a lot of perlite. I'm trying to mimic the environment of the holiday cactus I have received, and it's basically peat and perlite. That's what I used for this mix. I am tossing it with my finger gently. I am watering it again, and I can already feel the plant is definitely not fixed. It's gonna take a while. Look, it's coming out. You see what just happened? I told you. Okay, gently press it again. Take a spoon, press it again. If it's your first time doing this, you're gonna get a little bit frustrated why the plant is coming out of the pot. Well, it's not the plant's fault, it's ours. It means somewhere in the process we didn't do what we should have done for the plant. And it is because the root system is very thin. It's not like the root system of a tree, for example, or a palm tree, or a citrus tree, that can be much easier fixed in soil. Now, what I usually like to do in these type of situations is to take a small stick or even a toothpick and place it gently through the roots of the plant in order to give the plant some stability. So nothing major, nothing out of the ordinary, just a toothpick. I'm sure you have it in the kitchen. Just give your plant a little bit of support until the root system is strong enough and it's fixed well enough in order to sustain the weight and the height. The camera stopped for a while, so I took the opportunity to finish potting the last two stems. So here it is. I can present you the final products of today's planting session. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pots of Thanksgiving and Christmas cactus. Some of them have a little bit of root system, some of them have a better developed system, like these bigger ones over here. And I did promise you that I'm gonna take care of this little cutting that it's tilting a little bit. It doesn't have the full power in its roots to support itself. So I went to the kitchen. I took two toothpicks, one in front of the in front, what I consider to be the front of the plant, one behind its back stem. So just a tiny bit of support, and that's about it. Now, what are you gonna do with these cuttings, with the stems, with all those leaves that you took off from the cuttings that you have potted? That's a very good question. That's a very thoughtful thought about what's gonna happen with all these segments. Well, to be very honest with you, by the look of them, not all of them are gonna survive. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wait until tomorrow for a callus to form at the point of breaking of the point of separation, because you will have a better chances of survival if you wait with these segments to form a callus before you put them into soil or before you put them into the water. Because I had a successful rooting with these stems that I put in the water. I'm gonna go with water propagation onwards as well. Although I've heard some of you out there are propagating this kind of cacti with soil propagation directly. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wait until they form a callus. I'm gonna choose the healthiest one, and I'm gonna place them in the water for a couple of or weeks or so, and then place them in soil as well. Although I will have to find some smaller pots than this because for one leaf or one segment like this is a quite a big pot. So this is it, guys. This is the planting session on Valentine's Day. I hope you did enjoy the session. I hope you like this plant. It's really a joy to work with it. I haven't seen it this particular Thanksgiving cactus. I haven't seen it in many years, and the Christmas cactus from outside the door came into my house, so it's a special moment. Once again, thanks to my friend for offering me this cute little plant. Thanks for all of you that are watching and subscribing to my channel. It really helps me to know that I am sharing useful information with you. And one more time, happy Valentine's Day. Go out there, offer plants, offer flowers to your family and dear ones. They are always a joy, especially the ones in a pot. Thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't done so, press the subscribe button and the bell button as well. In this way, you will not miss any episode from Inside Jungle. Where's the jungle? On my balcony, so you have to watch my other videos to know what I'm talking about. One more time, thanks for watching and happy planting, happy Valentine's Day.